It started with the way her father stopped chewing. The barbecue was noise and smoke, laughter, kids running, the faint burn of overcooked meat. Then my wife's sister leaned forward, beer sweating in her hand, that smile too sharp to be friendly. "So what, you file paperwork for the army?" she asked. The others laughed. I didn't. I wiped my hands on a napkin, slow, deliberate. "No," I said. "I fly." She snorted. "Oh yeah? What's your call sign?" The air shifted. I felt it before I saw it. The tightening across the table, the subtle stillness in her father's jaw. Iron Widow. He froze mid-breath. His beer tilted. The laughter around us faltered and died. Her sister blinked, still smiling, not understanding the silence she'd just walked into. Her father's voice came out low, raw. "Girl," he said, eyes never leaving mine. "Apologize. Now." She frowned, confused. For what? He stood, slow as a man rising from a grave. "You don't know who she is." The smoke curled around his face, and I saw the flash of recognition, memory, fear, respect. He knew. And suddenly, the laughter didn't matter. The beer didn't matter. The whole world tilted toward the sound of my heartbeat. Because for the first time in 3 years, someone recognized me, and that meant someone had been looking. That night, she didn't ask about it, my wife. She brushed her teeth beside me, humming softly, pretending the silence wasn't splitting us open. I watched her in the mirror. Calm, polite, detached. She'd been playing this part too long. When she slipped into bed, I stayed in the kitchen, watching the glow of her phone on the counter. She'd left it unlocked. Careless? Or confident? I wasn't sure which. I didn't touch it. Not yet. You learn restraint in the cockpit. You learn patience when lives depend on the angle of your wrist. I poured a drink and stared through the glass door to the backyard. The scene of the crime, though the crime hadn't happened there. Not exactly. It had started months earlier. The late nights, the new perfume, the smile that wasn't meant for me. But tonight, when her father looked at me like that, something aligned. Because he wasn't shocked by who I was. He was shocked that she hadn't told me. And that's what lodged itself under my skin. Not fear, not anger, just the certainty that she had lied about more than love. I started small. An old email address. A data trail through a base server. Her father's service record. Retired SEAL, commendations, nothing unusual. Her sister, though, a civilian contractor. Logistics, communications, clearance level higher than she should have had. And my wife? Project management for a training liaison position she'd said was temporary. Except the funding reports were under my own unit's budget line. Classified. That was my first confirmation. She'd been inside my world without ever telling me. At home, she laughed easily, cooked, slept with her phone under the pillow. She thought she was subtle. She wasn't. At work, I pulled archived flight logs. There it was, a name buried in an encrypted brief I'd signed 2 years ago. Her name. So she hadn't just lied about me, she'd lied to me, under my own command. I didn't tell anyone, didn't ask questions. I wanted proof, not noise. I waited for her to leave one morning, then took her phone, mirrored it to my system. Messages, photos, coordinates. One thread caught my eye, her sister again. Coded language disguised as domestic chatter. BBQ soon, tell 'em to bring the good stuff. Except the attachments were encrypted documents. Unlabeled, foreign headers. It wasn't about the affair anymore. It was about infiltration. And suddenly, every touch, every soft word at night, every whispered "I love you" became an interrogation in my mind. The confirmation came on a Tuesday. I was sitting in my office when the classified report hit my desk. Unauthorized data access from civilian terminal correlated to personal network. Her terminal, my home network. I read it once, then again. There it was. Her signature in the metadata. Her login credentials routed through her sister's IP. They'd been selling mission logs, positions, personnel rosters, information that had gotten men, my men, killed. And she'd smiled at me every morning while I buried them. I printed the report. Not a word, not a sound. When she came home that evening, I set the papers on the kitchen counter. She looked down, frowned, and her color drained. Her lips parted. "I can—" "No," I said quietly. She reached for me, but I stepped back. The distance between us became something permanent. Her eyes darted, searching for softness. There was none left. Her voice broke. You don't understand. I understand," I said. "You knew exactly what you were doing." And she did. That was the worst part. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I called her father, put him on speaker. He answered on the second ring. "Yeah? She's here," I said, "and you need to hear something." Silence. Then, "Go ahead." I played the audio. Her voice, clear, unguarded, discussing locations, encryption keys, payouts. Her sister laughing in the background. Her father didn't speak. When it ended, the only sound was her breathing, ragged, panicked. Then his voice, hollow. "Jesus Christ," he exhaled, a broken sound. "I'll handle it." "You won't need to," I said. "It's already reported." Her knees buckled. She slid down the cabinet, clutching her face like she could hide from what she'd done. I watched. Not cruelly, not kindly, just watched. There's a moment when the human mask falls away, when the performance ends. That's when the truth is most honest. They took her that night. No handcuffs, just quiet protocol. She didn't look back. I stood on the porch until the lights disappeared. The air smelled like smoke and salt. Somewhere a dog barked. Life continued. I went inside, sat at the table where she used to laugh. The napkin from that barbecue still lay in the drawer, stiff with grease. I unfolded it, stared at the faint red fingerprint. Hers or mine? I couldn't tell anymore. I thought about her sister, her father, the look in his eyes when he realized what kind of soldier I really was. They had all underestimated the quiet, the calm, the patience. I folded the napkin again, neat, precise, like closing a file. Iron Widow. That was my call sign. Because I'd learned long ago, some wars aren't fought in the sky. They're fought at the dinner table, and won in silence.